and we can come to the next one, which is Krystian Panek with a talk about AEM Stubs.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay.
And I will go away. Then.
Okay. Can you see my screen? Can you can anybody tell me that? Okay.
It looks
okay.
Good. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm Krystian Panek. I'm principal software engineer from Cognifide, and I'm usually known as founder of Gradle AEM plugin. But today I'd like to show you another tool which is called AEM Stubs. And why? AEM developers are usually working with some external third-party APIs. For example, when we need to integrate some e-commerce API to be able to render components, rendering products, rendering product listing, and so on. But there are a few problems coming with this topic. For example, the AEM project team want to start implementing components earlier than when the third-party APIs are not yet available. So the stubbing and mocking may be helpful here. Also, the problem is because the commerce API could be accessible only, for example, on production, on staging, because of networking issues. Because for example, on my machine, as I'm a developer, I could need to set up some VPN. I need to have granted access to that VPN, and so that's problematic in the real world. Also, there are problems when the API is being implemented in the meantime. It could change over the time. And to be honest, I was in such situation. I was thinking that I ended implementing some product rendering data components, and kaboom! Suddenly, my component stopped working, and I was figuring out for about a whole day what is wrong with my component. It was working, and in fact, it was because the external third-party API just changed the format of JSON files, so that my applications didn't expect that. So that's very, very not nice. So what to do with such situations? We could start thinking about stubbing and mocking. So as my case shows, we could need mocks in unknown moment in the project lifecycle. So it is a problem, especially for smaller AEM projects, because in bigger AEM projects, we could have enough resources, we could have software engineer support to set up a standalone mocking server, and so on. But in smaller AEM projects, we could not have such resources. So what to do in such situations? We could use AEM Stubs tool. It is an open source tool available on our GitHub, and it is installable via a single CRX package. And what could be surprising, I'm showing to you CRXDE, but it is because AEM Stubs does not have any dedicated user interface. So for creating stubs, we could use even CRXDE. Okay, and what is this AEM Stubs in detail? AEM Stubs is a tool for providing mocks for AEM on AEM. What does it mean? It means that we could create stubs or mocks directly on AEM, store it in CRXDE in repository, and the mocks will be served using same HTTP server as our AEM pages being responded. So that's very nice and comfortable to work with. AEM Stubs is also not trying to reinvent the wheel, because it is reusing popular stubbing framework. So any previously gathered experience in Wiremock and Moco will allow you to use AEM Stubs very easily. And to create some mocks or stubs, you could create stub scripts or stubs mappings, and such files just need to be placed under conf stubs path. May I show you how it is working in practice? Okay, let's move on to our GitHub page. As you can see, the tool is available on AEM Stubs on GitHub. And let's move on. Here we have some general info about the tool. Here we have concepts used. And here we have a framework comparison to let you easily decide which framework you want to use for when creating mocks. Here we have a description which package to use to be installed on your AEM instance in your project-specific case. And here's the information about support. AEM Stubs tool is supported since 6.3 version up, so it should work on all recent AEM versions. And here we have the detailed information for all available configuration options. Okay, I think that's all about the tool in general. Let's try to use it. So I'm downloading the tool. Then I moved to CRX Package Manager, and I'm trying to install the package on instance. Let's install the package. And within seconds, we are able to start mocking. As you can see, we have new node here, Stubs node, and here we have sample mocks available. But they effectively they are excluded by default. So let's create project-specific directory. Let's call it my site, and let's copy some example of stub mapping file. I will put it here. Okay, and how it looks like. Okay, here we are defining request and expected response. So let's say we want to create stub for path my site, then hello world, and we'd like to that endpoint will return body hello adaptTo. Okay, I'm saving the file, and as you could predict, when I copy it and when I enter to the AEM and I prefix that path with Stubs prefix, it is configurable. As you can see, I'm having mock available within seconds. Even more, if I update it and save it, the mock server is being reloaded automatically. So that's a very comfortable way to work with. Okay, that was the primary method for defining the stubs, but you could also use the stub script. May I paste the example file? And as you can see, here we have some examples, and these examples are even coming from official WireMock documentation. So you could even copy paste all available examples from directly from WireMock, paste it to the AEM, to these stubs directory, and you are able to define any mocks you want. You could create stubs for delete methods, get methods returning JSON, mocking redirects, authentication, status code, and so on. All the features from WireMock are available, almost all features. Okay, and my favorite one. May I show you that? Here we have a mocking proxy example. May I copy that URL? So what that proxy will do? If we will enter this, if we want to proxy some external API, and maybe it will be easier to just show you that. What does happen? I will tell you. I just created a stub which is looking like we are requesting the AEM itself. So we are not performing external requests, but we define the stub which is proxying all requests to the National Bank of Poland API. So it looks like we are requesting AEM, but under the hood we are requesting external API. So that's very helpful method for avoiding coarse issues. Yeah. So as you can see, I'm changing parameters and they are reflected. So the calls to the National Bank of Poland API is being performed. So that's very, very easy way to avoid that coarse issues and so on. So I think that's all from my side. To sum up, AEM Stubs tool is It's a tool for simple and flexible way for providing sample data to your AEM applications, and I hope you will enjoy it. Thank you.